Now we're going to take you live to Darwin, where Chief Minister Michael Gunn is providing a coronavirus update. Let's take a look.
Their extraordinary work on our borders and in our communities. The government is investing an extra $20 million to recruit 130 extra police and support staff and purchase 20 new police vehicles. The new recruits will include frontline constables, Aboriginal liaison officers, Aboriginal community police officers and support staff. Recruitment and training will begin straight away, with the first recruits to be on the job by October. The rollout of the extra officers will continue through to November next year. These new recruits will help relieve the current rostering pressures, giving the cops on the borders a bit of a break. And it also means we'll be well prepared to cover any changes in support from the Australian Federal Police and the Australian Defence Force down the track. The police are doing what Territorians need them to be doing to keep us all safe, and they'll always get what they need from us. We will keep doing whatever it takes to protect Territorians, whatever it takes, for as long as it takes. Police will stay on our borders, they'll stay on the job, but we've all got a job to do. Every Territorian is on duty right now. Stay safe, stay smart, stay the best. Do the things we know reduce the risk of transmission. Keeping your distance, washing your hands, staying at home and getting tested if you feel sick. If we all keep doing our job, we will keep the Territory safe. Thank you. Let's pass the Police Commissioner.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today's announcement is certainly welcome by us as we prepare and continue to respond to COVID-19. The pressures on the agency have been significant, and I'm pleased that the constant briefings I've been providing as it relates to our resource pressures have been heard, and this announcement has been made today. This means that there'll be a significant amount of work occurring, obviously, within our agency as it relates to the recruiting and then also the education of our new employees as they go through our training programs to ultimately hit the road. As part of that, we will be running contemporaneous programs down in Alice Springs as well as in Darwin to ensure that we can maximise the number of people we can put through as warden constables. What we're also doing is bringing on 30 Aboriginal liaison officers with the intent for them to be employed within remote communities. I see them as a very important element of the work we're doing because as we need to engage with remote communities into the future, they will be a source of truth that will ensure that the message gets through clearly and so that it is understood by community, and that community can also come back to police who are predominantly their source of truth in those locations as it relates to emergency management. There is going to be much to do, and I think you've already seen across the nation the significant demands on policing resources as it relates to the border checkpoints, and that's something we're continuing to do. We're refining wherever possible. We're using our automatic number plate recognition wherever possible, certainly on the low-use roads, but we do have still strong demand on our road border entries. A large proportion of all those entries that have come into the Northern Territory have actually been by road, and we continue to engage with those people, and we thank them for the preparedness of the arrival forms that they're putting in place. We have much to do. We need to ensure that we are in a prepared state in the event that COVID-19 does penetrate the Northern Territory borders. That will be a collective whole-of-government response, particularly with health and police as it relates to any remote community outbreaks. We have significant plans in place to deal with those things, and we'll have a heavy engagement with community to ensure that people understand how to follow the relevant guidelines we'll put out in respects of that. It won't be a time for panic. We will be able to engage with communities, and as I say, the Aboriginal liaison officers I think will provide a great pathway for us to give much needed reassurance into the community in the event that occurs. But the protection of the Territory, as the Chief Minister indicated, is not a responsibility solely for the Northern Territory Police Force. It does come down to every individual that is currently outside the Territory who is coming into the Northern Territory and crossing a border to do so. We do need you to follow all the relevant guidelines, and particularly if you've come to a hotspot, you need to be upfront and honest with us. We've seen in recent days what can occur when individuals are not honest with us. We will do our due diligence, we will follow through, and we will take action in the event that we can prove that you have lied or misled us on that arrival form. And 2 people are currently facing the court in relation to those matters. I think the future for the Northern Territory Police Force is one of some uncertainty as it relates to how long this response will go, and I think that's a message that everyone in community needs to understand. This is a response that has no end date at this point in time, but we do appreciate there will be an end date at a point in time. But whilst ever the Chief Health Officer has directions and an emergency declaration in place, we will need to be there to ensure that compliance is followed. That's the imperative of keeping people safe, and that's the role that we'll continue to do. Thank you.
We'll leave that there. That's the announcement from Darwin that they're extending those Sydney hotspot declaration, making it that much harder to travel to the top end, but they've had relatively few cases, and so it's about protecting their borders, which we've seen a number of states doing at the moment.